Today's video is sponsored by my Patreon. Check the link down below or go to StockSurfS.com/Patreon to join. You get all my buy, sells, call outs, morning update videos, more access to me throughout the day. Again, all that's on Patreon, link down below. Now, let's get into the video. Oh man, what a way to kick off 2022, guys. We had the S&P and the Dow go up 0.6% today. We had the Russell up 1.2%. We had the NASDAQ up 1.1% as the VIX went down almost 4%. So today, you guessed it, we got to break it down. We have to go over some stocks. We have to break down some charts, and I want to go over my thoughts on the market. So sit back, relax, hit the like button, subscribe, take a sip of your coffee. Yes, it's almost 6, and I'm drinking a coffee. Make sure to also get your 2 stocks from Webull and your $50 from M1 Finance. All of those are linked down below, and with that being said, let's get into it. So look at this, guys. SPY ended up almost hitting an all-time high today in the pre-market. We hit about $478 per share, and then once the market opened, like we discussed in my video earlier today, the market collapsed a bit. You guys can see SPY went from 477.80 all the way down to 473, and then we pretty much rallied for the rest of the day. You guys can see on the intraday chart here, after hitting 473, we rallied a bit. We saw a pullback back to about 474.50. That was at about 11:30 a.m. on the East Coast, and from there, we rallied for the rest of the day. 4.5 hours of straight up rallying after 11:30 a.m. on the East Coast, and SPY ended up closing just a little bit under $478 per share. And the fact that we closed above 475, we bounced above the 50 SMA on this 4-hour chart here, and we closed on an upswing, that is a very, very good sign overall for the bulls. So when it comes down to triple Q, which tracks the NASDAQ 100, the fact that we broke back over 400, we closed above 400, and we bounced above the 50 SMA, and we closed on the intraday chart on a nice upswing. These are very good signs as well that the bulls are taking over triple Q. And we did have a great day overall in tech stocks, which is why we saw triple Q do very well. Look, we had Tesla up 13.5%. We had Apple hit an all-time high today. It became the first $3 trillion company ever. It went up 2.5%. We had Amazon up 2.2%. We had Nvidia up, let's see here, what did Nvidia do? 2.4%. So a lot of the big tech names did extraordinarily well today, pushing the markets higher. And as you guys know at this point, you should know at this point, big tech has a massive weighting, probably too big of a weighting on the overall market. So if we see Apple, Amazon, Tesla, big tech do well one day, you bet your you-know-what, the markets are going to follow suit for the most part and do well as well. So what do you guys think about the markets? Do you think this rally is going to continue? By the looks of it, it looks like it is going to continue, guys. But I'd love to know your thoughts. Drop me a comment down below. Make sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and now let's talk about some stocks. And I noticed something very interesting today when I was prepping this video, looking through a bunch of charts throughout the day. I spotted a lot, I mean a lot of inverse head and shoulders, and we're going to break those down in this video. Number one is Airbnb, ticker symbol ABNB. Look at this, clear-cut inverse head and shoulders. Let me zoom in and show you guys what I'm seeing here. So if I get the oval tool out, let's do that very quickly. We have the left shoulder right here. Take a look. We got the head right here. If it wants to work for me, guys, there we go. And now we have the right shoulder forming as we have been consolidating above the 50 SMA on this 4-hour chart. And today we actually got a breakout. Airbnb went up almost 4%. So you guys see the left shoulder, head, right shoulder, and the fact that we're holding the neckline at about 163, and now we're breaking out towards 170 plus, mid 170s towards the 180 SMA here on the 4-hour chart. This is a very good sign that this inverse head and shoulders wants to play out. And I'm thinking if Airbnb breaks out of 178 into the 180s, it's going to explode. I think there's going to be a lot more momentum from there. So I'm going to set my alert at $175 per share right now. Let's do that very quickly. Mark is at or above. So if we start taking out those highs, being the 180 moving average, and those highs from September, we saw resistance at 175 into October as well, even early November. If we start getting out of that point, Airbnb is going to do very well, at least in my opinion. And by the way, this is all my opinion. I'm not a financial advisor. Understand that, guys. So make sure you do your own due diligence, your own research. This is based on my understanding of these charts. So Airbnb, looking very good. Ticker symbol ABMB. Tesla, which we covered in my morning video today, did very well. Very, very well. It went up 13.5% just today, up $143 per share, which is nuts. It closed at $11.99, and now it's up above $1,200 after hours. It's at $12.05 right now, which is nuts. And there's no denying the fact that we're overbought. RSI is at 76 on the 4-hour chart here. We're very overbought. And just like Airbnb, take a look at this. We covered this morning as well. You guys should probably know this at this point, but if you didn't, look at this. We have a clear-cut inverse head and shoulders. Left shoulder right here. We got the head right here, and then we got the right shoulder as we broke out above the moving averages, and now we're pretty much completing the right shoulder. I think it will complete. I guess 1,200 is where it did complete. Now we're breaking out of 1,200, which was resistance in the end of November. So now that we're breaking 1,200, guys, I'm thinking the next gap to fill is 1,250. That is the all-time high, or that was the all-time high, or still is the all-time high from the beginning of November. So momentum's really building up here on Tesla. I wouldn't be surprised. I know it's crazy, but I really would not be surprised if we hit all-time highs again in the very near-term future, whether it's tomorrow, some point this week, next week. I have no idea. I'm not a fortune teller, but I would not be surprised judging Tesla's previous price action. I wouldn't be surprised if we did see a nice rip, a continuation of this rip over the next week, 2 weeks, couple of weeks. It's definitely possible. So Tesla, huge move today. If you own Tesla, you're a shareholder, which a lot of you guys probably are watching this video. Let me know in the comments if you are. You made a lot of money today, myself included. So that's Tesla. AMD, Advanced Micro Devices. Let's see if we have an inverse head and shoulders on this one. We do. Look at this, guys. We have the left shoulder right here. We got the left shoulder, or rather the head right here. And then we got the right shoulder. Today, AMD went up 4.4%. And we ended up pulling back last week. If you guys remember, we hit 156. We pulled back to about 143. So we lost about 8% value throughout the week. And now we're bouncing. We held the moving averages at a higher low. We bounced above them today. Again, like I said, this stock went up 4.5% roughly today. So this is telling me that, hey, volume's kicking up. Buyers are coming in, stepping in, buying the dip. And the inverse head and shoulders is intact. So at this point in time, this right shoulder could probably complete anywhere from, I would say, $160, which roughly is the resistance from the middle of November, also early November. So between 160, 165, that is where I really think AMD, that right shoulder, the inverse head and shoulders here, is probably going to complete. So we're gaining momentum in a lot of these tech stocks again, guys. AMD, Tesla, Airbnb, they're doing well. We have Intel, which is kind of out of favor. It's one of those stocks that has been brushed under the rug. It's not really getting much love. But full disclosure, I like stocks that are like that. I'm not one of these guys. Sure, I do own some popular momentum stocks, absolutely, but I also like the beaten down dogs that people don't really look at. Intel is one of those. In my opinion, it's very undervalued. And I actually bought more today. You guys in my Patreon know I post all my moves on Patreon, and I've been buying this thing for the past couple of weeks. I bought more today, and just today alone, Intel went up 3.3%, up almost $2 per share, and I guess it's safe to say we are trying to fill the gap up to where the stock was after they announced Mobileye, which they own Mobileye. Do you guys remember when they announced Mobileye's going to go public? The stock ran up all the way to about $56 on that news. Now we're starting to fill the gap back to $56. And I have no doubt in my mind that is where we're headed in the short term, probably 55, 56. And the fact that we're trading above the moving averages, we bounced off the 50 SMA today, had a 3.3% green day. This is telling me that, yep, we're going to the mid-50s. Probably even above the mid-50s, but I don't want to get ahead of myself considering 55, 56 has been a sticking point since July at this point. So once we start breaking out of that point, I would say with more confidence we're going to 58, 60. But until then, all I'm saying is 55 is probably coming. Then again, if we break 55, we're probably going to 58, which was resistance in the end of May, June, and early on in July. So Intel, it's beaten up. It's not, it's kind of forgotten. It's not the most popular stock out there, but for me, it's very oversold, undervalued, solid dividend. I don't mind buying and holding this one. So I've been doing that. Ticker symbol INTC. We also had oil today, energy. What didn't do well today? I feel like pretty much everything did well today. XLE, which I personally own. This is an energy ETF comprised of a lot of energy stocks, right? That's what an ETF is. If you guys saw my stock market for beginners video 2022, if you didn't, go watch it. It's 2 hours long. I know you probably can't watch it in a sitting, but if you have a couple of days, you want to go through it slowly, you'll find value in that for sure. Go check out that video. I covered in that video how ETFs, and you guys probably know this, are it's essentially a fund that holds a bunch of individual stocks, and it's traded like an individual stock throughout the day. That's what XLE is. It's comprised of a bunch of energy stocks, and it's breaking out. Today it had a 3.1% green day. We're seeing, just like some other stocks we talked about today, we're seeing an inverse head and shoulders on XLE. Look at that playing out. And I think if this breaks above, let's say, the mid 57s, roughly 57.50, I'll put my alert right there right now. If we start getting out of this point, this is probably going to go 60 plus again. And do you guys remember, or rather, it didn't even go 60 plus over the past couple of months. So we'll probably start getting to 60 plus. And I mentioned this a couple of weeks ago. I mentioned this probably, when was it? Probably in September, October. I was telling you guys, look, oil, energy, it's going to continue doing well in my opinion, and I believe, and I still believe it, XLE is going 60 plus, and I'm sticking to that, guys, even though it's sold off all the way to $51. That honestly didn't bother me at all, because again, I've been saying, and I'm confident that it's going 60 plus with all the inflation. Energy prices are continuously going up. Let's see what crude oil did today. Let me show you guys this chart. Crude oil just today went up a good amount, I'm assuming. I actually didn't look at this chart earlier. Let's see. The futures are now down 0.1%, but what did we do throughout the day today? Yeah, this thing went from 74 a barrel this morning all the way to the mid 76s at about noon on the East Coast. So this saw about a 3% rally intraday. Now it's pretty much flat since that $76, $76.50 peak earlier in the day. So crude oil is doing well. Crude oil is on the verge of breaking out of, let's see here. If it breaks $77, this is going back to 80s, 80 plus for sure. And I think that's going to happen again, or I wouldn't be investing in XLE, which again is an energy ETF. So set your alerts, 57.50 on XLE. Watch crude oil at about 77, 78 a barrel. And if we start getting out of there, this could start gaining some serious momentum. So the next one here is Salesforce, ticker symbol CRM. And this one is also an inverse head and shoulders. Look at this, guys. We have the left shoulder, the head, the right shoulder. I have my alert set at $260 right now, which we're now trading at $255. And today alone, we went up 0.5%, which isn't that crazy, but still, it's better than nothing. And I'm telling you guys, if we start gaining momentum past 260, which was resistance in the end of December, hence why I have my alert at 260. If we start gaining momentum out of there, this is probably going to go 275 in the short term, right by the 180 SMA resistance on the 4-hour chart. And if 275 breaks, now we're talking 300s. I think 300s is in the cards for CRM. And this is one of those stocks that's beaten down. It's gotten beaten down pretty heavily heading into 2022. It's down 20% over the past just month alone, pretty much. Actually, more like 2 months. But still, 20% in 2 months. That's a pretty big drop. It's almost in a bear market for a very solid company. CRM's a great company. So I'm watching for the rebound in this stock. And the last one for today, guys, is Chargepoint. Chargepoint had a great day. It went up almost $1, up 4.3% on the day. And today we had a big breakout above. And even though we went above it last week, we slightly broke above it. Today we had a big push above the 50 moving average on the 4-hour chart here, and we actually took out the highs from last week, which is great. So now I'm a full believer that, and I was before, I mean, nothing much has changed, but the technicals are kind of proving me right here. I'm a firm believer here that Chargepoint is going to be going back to at least 22 per share, right by the 180 moving average here on the 4-hour chart. If we break that point, mid-high 20s. I think it's coming in 2022. And this is one of those stocks that, like a lot of the smaller cap stocks, they've been beaten down. Look at Chargepoint. It went from $36 back in June. It hit $17, so we're talking close to a 50% drop, which is a pretty sizable drop. And a lot of the other small caps like SoFi, DraftKings, they've been hit a lot. And I have a theory that these were sold off because of tax loss harvesting, maybe some manipulation, and I believe that these are going to do well in 2022, at least for the first half of 2022. I think there is a good potential for these to bounce back. So what do you guys think? Pretty crazy day today in the markets. Great way to start 2022. A lot of the stocks that I personally hold did very well. A lot of the stocks in my watch list did very well. So let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. And to quickly recap the stocks we talked about, if you guys are taking notes, we had Airbnb, we had Tesla, AMD, Intel, XLE, which again is an energy ETF, CRM, and good old Chargepoint. So let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. Hit the like button, subscribe, check out my Patreon. Again, if you guys want all my buys, sells, call outs, morning update videos, more access to me throughout the day, plus more. All of that's on Patreon, link down below. Or you can go to StasserFest.com/Patreon. That's StasserFest.com/Patreon. Make sure to also get your 2 stocks from Webull, link down below. All you have to do is use that link, deposit any amount of money, and we each get 2 stocks. It's that simple. You guys could also get your $50 from M1 Finance, also linked down below. Use that link, deposit $100 with them. We each get $50. It's that simple. So I'll catch you guys in the next video. I'll pop one up right here. Go check the one out from earlier today. We went over some stocks that I'm looking at that we didn't cover in this video. So I'll see you there. Thanks for watching. As always, keep crushing the market. Stay safe out there. Peace out, guys.